The clock's running out on December deal drops at Lowe's, but there's still time to wrap up something they'll love. Shop great gifts under $50, like the DeWalt Elite Series 100-piece bit set. Plus, if you order by 2 p.m., you can get same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop December deal drops while you can. Lowe's, we help, you save. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items, subject to availability. Fees vary. Details at lowes.com/same-day delivery.
Carry on and plan the sequel, because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
And welcome back to Microqueers. It's our sporadic horror movie roundup, and I'm Joe.
And I'm Trace, and we are talking Bryan Fuller's feature directorial debut in Dust Bunny, a gateway horror film for the ages, if kids were allowed to see it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, look behind the curtains. We just recorded our interview with Bryan Fuller, and Trace's face, if you have not watched that video, when he finds out that this is an R-rated movie.
I am flabbergasted, Joe. Like, absolutely flabbergasted. I nothing about this screams R-rated. I thought the MPA, I mean, not to say the MPA was ever, like, good, but I felt like, I was like, who really cares that much about ratings? I mean, we live in a streaming age, like, whatever the fuck, but, like, it must be because it's about kids. Like, there's a kid at the center of it, but still, that is a shock to me. Because spoiler alert, I really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. I managed to see this at TIFF, so I had seen this a couple of months ago. I sat with it. I talked about it with Conrad from Movie Oubliette about it, because we've been recording a bunch of just mini reviews out of the festival. And it was actually very funny, because he was only familiar with Bryan Fuller's work from Hannibal. So I think he was actually disappointed at how kiddie or gateway horror this was. But I think that this is, like, if you have seen Pushing Daisies, this feels like it could be set within that world. It's just that we're missing the actors from that title.
Yes, but the whimsy is there. Like that's what I kept. God, like, yeah. This movie was so whimsical, but like it juggles so many different, I'm gonna say, genres and tones, and for the most part, I think it does it really well. I think this is like an hour and 44 minutes. I think
it's a touch long.
It is. I would say I'm interested to see where you think you could cut things, but for me, I think you could cut out stuff in the first act.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that we have this emotional component, and there is so much emphasis on little 8-year-old Aurora, who was played by Sophie Sloan. Fucking darling child performance. Like, anchors this movie. She and Mads Mikkelsen have so much chemistry. It is impeccable casting.
The running gag where he couldn't pronounce her name.
Oh my God. It kills me.
Every time I laughed. I was like, which I didn't think to ask Fuller this in the interview, but do you think Aurora is meant to tie into Sleeping Beauty?
Oh, I could absolutely see that. Yeah.
Which in that case, now I want to be like, well, why'd you pick Aurora out of all the princesses? But, you know.
I mean, it's probably the one that he most identified with.
The sleeping one? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess Snow White sleeps a lot, too. We have a lot of sleeping princesses.
This is true, especially in a certain era of Disney princess.
But ultimately, yeah, I would have eaten this shit up as a kid. Like, this feels the closest to kind of like those, like, honestly, like PG-rated family, quote-unquote family films we were getting in the 80s. And I know that Fuller has said, you know, he was kind of aiming for like an Amblin vibe. And it's
so apt. Yeah.
Totally see that here. And honestly, in the third act, when this thing is, because spoiler alert, the monster is real in this movie.
Yes.
The Jaws-y stuff we are doing with this thing under the floorboards, I thought was super impressive. It looks great. It looks great.
It does. Yeah, this is an interesting combination of they had a couple of different puppets and then they augment it with CGI. And I don't always love the way that the floor looks. Like, I think early on, you know, there's a shot where the rabbit circles out a little piece of the floorboard and then it sticks a tentacle up, and the tentacle looks great, but the hole as it's coming out looks super cartoony. And I do think it fits within the world of the film, which has a cartoony vibe to it. It's also that Pushing Daisy effect, right? Everything is just a little super saturated. It's maximalist. It just feels slightly artificial and removed from reality. So I do think it works, but sometimes I was like, how big is the budget for the film? Could we have not given him just a couple $1 million? But when we see the actual creature in the last act, I do think it works.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up the budget because Fuller was very adamant about saying, this is an independent film. And I don't think this is a low budget film. I think for the type of film it is a low budget. And, the creature was brought to life through a mix of CGI, a big puppet they had. There's some stop motion-y stuff in here that I think looks really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, because, as someone who plays video games a lot, I know that hair is notoriously difficult to animate. And so watching this, I was like, wow, the hair on this bunny looks great.
It does. I think part of the problem that I had, at least on the initial viewing at TIFF, when I was, watching this projected on a giant big screen.
Right.
The film opens with the construction of the dust bunny from various particles, and I think it looks very bad. And it's a horrible way to introduce the film, unfortunately, because I think it sends the wrong message, like, oh, this just isn't going to look very good. And I think the film actually gets better the more time you spend in the world. And then, we get the payoff in the last act, and it is super impressive, but you have to keep audiences on board with you until then.
Well, I was actually curious for you because, the movie kind of, I'm not going to say gets a lot of mileage out of it because I was kind of just let me know if the monster's real, whatever. Because there's another version of this movie where it's like, oh, it's all in the little girl's head.
It's all in her head.
For sure.
Boring.
And I honestly, I would have been a little upset if that was the case. But there were so many parts in the movie where I was like, oh, the way this is presented, this could easily be an it's all in her head movie.
Yes.
But I don't know, did you get tired of that at all before the big reveal towards the end?
Well, I think that's why you were saying you could cut some of that first act out, is because it is a lot of people not believing her because she's a little girl. And I said, oh, well, we need these moments because it's about selling the relationship between her and Mads Mikkelsen, who, folks, you're not going to hear us refer to a character name because he doesn't have one. He's just the man or the resident in 5B. That's his mysterious credit in the film. Mm-hmm. But I think all of their scenes really help to build a foundation for the film, but there are a lot of moments where it's just her trying to tell people it's the monster and people being like, there is no monster. You're a stupid little girl. And that gets a little old.
Yeah, I think it works best when it's just Mikkelsen doing this because he does psychoanalyze it to where it's like, oh, well, I killed these people, then these people came to kill me, but they accidentally killed your parents. All of that rationalization made sense to me, but yeah.
Right.
Because honestly, too, the first act of this movie is it's mostly dialogue free, which I thought was a very bold choice.
It is a very bold choice. Yeah. I mean, the camera is doing a lot of work because as we noted in our interview with Fuller, we're just constantly on the move. We are doing all kinds of fun things. In some ways, it definitely feels like Fuller saying, I finally get to do the thing I want to for the big screen, and I'm just going to pull in every filmic reference I have ever loved or anything that seems like a callback to my childhood. It feels like it is all packed into this film.
100%. But Sophie Sloan is a revelation in this movie, as you said. She is really, really, really good. Mikkelsen is great. I gotta say, I would have taken more of this person, but I loved this performance. Sigourney Weaver is,
oh my god,
chewing every bit of scenery she has in her 4 or 5 scenes.
Always and forever. More Sigourney Weaver. This lady, I think she's pushed past 70 at this point, and I didn't know that she was in this movie. I figured it out because she was in town for the TIFF premiere. But when she shows up, it is such a fun character moment. She's got this lockjaw that she needs to open up so that she can eat. We only seem to see her in restaurants, which is just a really fun conceit. And I think Fuller just let her improv that moment where she eats a piece of prosciutto for 3 minutes. She's having the most fun fucking time. And then when she actually gets into the action, Trace, we're doing stiletto guns.
Oh my god,
this movie.
I felt robbed. I don't know if these stiletto guns are a thing that have been in other films or whatever. This is an homage or something.
Everything in this movie is a reference to something else.
There's a video game that has 3 installments called Bayonetta, and it's about this woman who is fighting angels in heaven because they're also evil and blah blah blah.
Sure,
but she's her trademark is her heels have guns on them, and she when she kicks somehow the guns go off. The fact that we have Sigourney Weaver wearing these gun heels and she doesn't do a kick that fires a bullet out, I felt robbed.
Right. Yeah, this felt very Get Smart to me, where the shoes always had all sorts of different weapons or phone capabilities and that kind of stuff. It feels like spy shit. And that's what this movie is. It's one of the many genres that this film is playing in.
Well, it's also, I mean, because the Sigourney Weaver character is kind of fascinating because we know the least about her, but I feel like by the time she, spoiler alert, dies in the end. Yeah, but like, I love that most of this movie, she's trying to kill this girl.
Yes, actively. She's trying to protect Resident 5B. And of course, when we get to the end of the film, we understand the connection. But it's very much, oh, okay, you are a threat to my livelihood. It does not matter that you're an adorable 8-year-old who shows up in a fucking strawberry-themed outfit at this restaurant.
Oh my God, when she shows up, like she calls her like a little baboon or something.
Yes. Yeah, because there's this whole animal motif where, you know, there was a baby baboon that had to latch on and it was the runt and it probably should have been killed, but we had to put it down. Yeah. And then she's like, good on you for putting that baboon down, Resident 5B. And then the little girl walks in and she's just like, is this the baboon? It's a very funny movie too, right? Like there's some really, really good fucking action, but there's some fantastic sight gags. As we said, this is maximalist, so if you like Art Deco, if you like wallpaper prints, if you like giant hippos that you can ride around on, like, this movie quite literally has something for everyone. But Trace, this is my question to you. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's a problem? Because in some ways, I'm worried that people are going to say, I don't know who this film is actually for, because it's a little too kiddish for adults in some ways, and then it's not kiddish enough maybe for younger kids. And as we noted, that R rating is going to prevent people from seeing it theatrically. So is this doomed to become a cult hit?
Probably so. Because I disagree with the first part saying it's too young for adults. I do kind of agree with the second part because, truthfully, I mean, the third act of this movie goes
all violence.
It's very, there's no blood, there's no gore, but I mean, we are having people getting swallowed whole, which, as soon as they said, I love that conceit where it was like, oh, that's how you're getting around the rating. They're swallowed whole, so there's no blood.
There's no blood, there's no viscera.
Yeah, I love that. But like, I was watching, just like, wow, this is really, I would have loved this as a kid, but like, this is really intense for children. But I do think that adults would like this, even if you don't have kids. But maybe it's just because it's the Bryan Fuller of it all. You know, it's whimsy, but it's not twee.
Oh, that's a perfect description. Yeah, because so much of this does feel like he's very on board with saying, I was informed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, so Amélie, The Island of Lost Children, all those kinds of movies where they're packed to the gills in terms of set design. Production design is immaculate. It's very rich, but also over the top. And yet, it does feel like this is a proper fairy tale.
Very much. But it's an original one because they don't. I think I've brought this movie up before, but I was getting a lot of Little Nemo from this movie.
Oh, yes. Okay.
But there's, I don't know, it felt wholly original while I could also spot every single influence in it. Well, I'm sorry, maybe not every single influence in it.
There's too many for that.
Exactly,
yes.
but a lot of the influences. So it never felt like a ripoff in the way, say, Black Phone 2 did earlier this year. I didn't come in to like target that movie. I was like, what's the first thing I can think of where it's like I couldn't tell if it was homage or ripoff, and like that's what Black Phone is to me. Whereas this, I see all the influences, but it never feels like it's ripping them off.
Right. Yeah. I appreciated this individual's film when I was younger, or now that I've got the opportunity to make my own, I want to say, here's my version of it, but it doesn't feel cobbled or beholden to it. Like, you're not looking at it and saying, oh my God, that's just De Palma. Oh my God, that's just Spielberg. And so
right. Exactly that. I mean, I think Jeunet, as you said, is kind of the closest thing where we can see like, oh yeah, like that's kind of the main director I'm seeing here. But again, Despotty still feels like unique to its own.
Indeed. Okay, so we do have two other actors that we haven't talked about, and we didn't really get a chance to ask Fuller about these individuals apart from everybody has a little quirk to them. But I'm curious, how did you feel about David Dastmalchian, aka David Dalmatian, or Sheila Atim, who you noted in our notes is going to be playing Akasha on the next season of Interview with the Vampire, which fucking blew my mind because I loved her.
I did too. Dastmalchian, I think, is totally fine. I mean,
he's doing his Dastmalchian-y thing.
Yeah, he did fine. He didn't really stand out to me outside of like, oh yeah, that's a mustachioed David Dastmalchian. Sheila Atim, though, I agree. To the point where when the mid-credit scene, when it's revealed that she is still alive in the apartment, I was like, oh, yes! We're probably not going to get a sequel, but yes! Because every adult dies in this movie except for Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes. Yeah.
No, her energy, I really like, because I thought she was an assassin at first, but no, she's the FBI. I wanted more from her, even though, I mean,
100%.
I don't know what you would do with her really, because the story's not about her, but Atim was a big surprise to me because I'm not familiar with this actress.
Yeah, I meant to look her up to see if I had seen her in anything previous. She looks very familiar. She's very striking. Her face is almost triangular shape, so it's a lot of hard edges, but she's gorgeous. The hair is perfect. The clothes throughout this entire movie are immaculate, but she has this like clipped, witty dialogue, and she just absolutely sells it. She's so commanding, so charismatic. Like, if you think about it, you know, it's a wonder that Sloan can do as well as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think the actor was 10, but still. And then we've got this relative newcomer in Atim, and these two actors are holding their own against people like Mads Mikkelsen and Sigourney Weaver and just killing it. They're doing such a good job in this film. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I think what she was most known for, she was in that movie, The Woman King with Viola Davis a couple years ago. That was getting a lot of awards buzz. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. And then she's going to be in Blade Runner 2099.
Oh, that's the TV series with Michelle Yeoh.
Yes, exactly that. So yeah, we've got her in Blade Runner, which I've never seen any of that, and yeah, the Vampire Lestat, which I guess they're renaming Interview with the Vampire Lestat.
Yes, because if you know where the story goes, it's much more about Lestat's rock career in the third book / season.
I guess, like, when's the last time you had a show like change names? You know.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I guess we're not so worried about PBRs anymore. People will figure that shit out.
But yeah, anyway, so overall, though, I mean, I had a really good time with Dust Bunny. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5. Okay. For most of the film, I was sitting firmly at a 3.5. Where I was like, it's good, but I'm not like it's not great. And honestly, that third act pushed it over for me. I was like, nope, like, there you go, good.
Yeah, no, the ending is so bombastic. The action is really well directed. I mean, I didn't have concerns going into it because I have liked every single Bryan Fuller title, including American Gods, which he only worked the first season on, but he is just such an auteur. So he has a very distinctive vision. You know he's going to execute it immaculately. Yes, I've used that word twice because I think it's an apt descriptor for this film. But yeah, it just feels so unique compared to everything else that's out there, and yet it feels so personal and specific to him and his sensibilities. It is genuinely joyful. Like, I was so glad to see a new Bryan Fuller production come into the world, and it also just makes me really want him to keep making shit. Like, I want to see the next movie. We talked to him about Hannibal season 4. We talked to him about Pushing Daisy season 3, and like, I just need him to keep making shit.
Yep, amen to that. But, I mean, maybe he'll keep directing films if he's not going to be doing TV, because as a first feature, this is a pretty accomplished work.
It's a good calling card, yeah. And, you know, some studio maybe could find a way to work with him so he doesn't have to be censored by the MPA, or that he can work with a bigger budget. But yeah, just more of him, please.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, everyone, let us know. What did you think of Dust Bunny? Because clearly we're fans. So let us know. And until next time, we can cross out Dust Bunny.
Indeed. And cross out horror queers.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Tap this ad to learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information.
We're interrupting this podcast to ask you a very important question. Have you had your Hershey's? When you need to brighten up your day, put a smile on your face with the classic creamy texture and pure milk chocolate flavor of Hershey's milk chocolate. Whether you're eating it on the go, breaking off a few pieces for s'mores night, or just treating yourself to something sweet, Hershey's milk chocolate checks all the boxes. Shop for Hershey's milk chocolate now at a store near you, found wherever candy is sold.